Hello everybody and welcome to Dark Souls 3. Now if my commentary sounds unbroken, intelligible, more cohesive, and a bit more relaxed than usual, that's because it is. Because this is, what you're currently listening to, post-commentary. This was recorded after I had played this part, and there is a very specific reason for that. Actually, I can give a few reasons, but one, I recorded this part very late/early in the day, around 2 a.m. And when I looked back at the audio, it was very unintelligible, and I did a lot of complaining, especially about later in this episode. Really just about one specific thing, and that was because I thought I had busted the Sigward quest, and that I was really disappointed by that. And if you were to listen to the original audio, I made that very clear. Excuse me. It immediately did not start well. It's because just for some reason when I went... We're going to see it later, I guess I'll talk about it then. But I guess for now we'll just talk about the gameplay. And just so you know, this audio will be... I'm going to try and have it mostly focus on the gameplay, like I usually do. However, if I actually go on a tangent, because I don't actively have to look at the screen, I don't necessarily have to talk about the game, and I almost guarantee I won't at times, but I'll do my best. So this beginning part, we're at the Farron Keep perimeter, and I'm trying to clear this area out. Or not trying, I mean, I'm doing it successfully. I forget where certain parts are, because I think I may have an audio cue in this part. If I go towards a door, I'll remember. You can probably hear it now. And it's actually kind of cool because I never noticed that the first time I played through this area by myself, because I actually didn't play this part with sound when I first played through this. I don't know, it's a weird thing. Oh, I think I'm doing it now. So if you listen closely, you'll hear like swords clashing and whatnot. But throughout this episode, there are going to be many cuts. Not a lot, but there's definitely going to be a big chunk in the beginning, and then kind of later on, I made a bunch of smaller cuts because it was very apparent later on that I was getting really tired, and I died twice in this episode, and I really didn't want to have people watch that, so I thought I'd better edit that part out. But this dude, I can't read his name from here. Hey, Hallen. It's probably just Hallen, and I'm trying to over-pronunciate it. We are going to fight one of my favorite bosses in Dark Souls 3, and it is the Abyss Watcher's fight. It's such an amazing fight, just because its gimmick is actually pretty good, but somewhat confusing. And in the original audio, which I will reference, this fight actually kind of disappointed me, because they made this fight... It feels like they made this fight way easier. And we'll see that in a second, but first he's gonna do his really cool Legion etiquette pose, which is amazing! Holy cow! They made it for that weapon. A weapon that we did not get. Spoilers for future episodes. But immediately you're gonna see how much damage I do to him. Like, already, he's way... Like, he did a backstab. Like, he's down to an eighth of health. Or an eighth of his health was already down. And before I even finish that sentence, he's already down to half. He's below half. Oh my goodness. The American teams are surely pushing back on this one. Oh, then more forces join. This is the gimmick. It's more people join, where eventually there's 3. 2 of them are hostile towards you. I think the third one can harm you, But, and like he's already down. Like it's super disappointing. Like all three of them I think are dead. But then the fourth one comes out, which is really awesome. Like the blood of the fallen brothers, like bloodborns into the air and then into him. And this part really reminds me of Bloodborne DLC, and you'll see why in just a second. His weapon may or may not have just caught fire. For no apparent reason, really. I guess he is a Lord of Cinder, so I guess innately he has that power. I guess. Don't question it. It's fine. But look at this rad pose that he takes. It's amazing. Oh my god. But then, the quote-unquote actual fight commences. They must have gotten a lot of complaints about this fight being really hard. Like, they 100% toned this fight down. I think they made the second part a little bit harder. But, I don't know. Like, I know I summoned somebody, but at no point did I really feel that threatened. Like, there's a lot of Souls bosses where I've definitely summoned somebody in, and I've still felt threatened. It's like, can't I think of any off the top of my head? No. That doesn't mean there aren't any. That just means I have a bad memory. But Halen, like, he did some work. It seems like a lot of... Okay, this is a reference to a future episode. It's really weird because I've played through a lot of the game, and like they're just kind of on backlog. And you're just waiting for them to come out, because I'm going to try and render a lot of them. But a lot of Sunboros have like the Big Hat Logan hat. It's really interesting. I don't know. I want that to be the new meta. That attack right there. We missed it. It was the attack he did right before he died. And he kind of like flipped his like small knife and then let up with a big sword attack. I've never seen that one before. I don't know what it was, and I don't know what it is, and I don't know what it means. What's the lore significance, Miyazaki? What does it mean when someone flips the knife? Is that the anti-etiquette? Is that him renouncing his Legion ways? Then I remember when I originally did this, I was going to be cheeky. I was going to be like, whoop, this is the end of the road. Da, 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 da. I was like, oh, nothing. And then I started to turn back, but then I heard it because I thought it was based on proximity, and I guess it's based on time, which is weird. It's kind of cool. I bet a lot of people would actually miss that if it was proximity. So it's probably for the best that it wasn't. Could this be a curse? That's a note that I don't understand. The Catacombs of Karthus. Yay! And someone you can summon for some reason. But he does have the Black Knight sword, which is rad. So I trust him. But I don't understand that. But we're not going to the Catacombs of Karthus today. No. That is for a different episode, as you can see by the title. Which, very blatantly says Cathedral of the Deep. Probably. I don't know. I haven't actually written the title for this yet. It will. Don't worry. But we're going to be covering that area today, because I actually like that area. It's upsetting that I did this episode when I was really tired, because the Cathedral of the Deep is actually one of my favorite areas. I say that with a question mark because now that I think back on it, there's a lot of areas later on that I think are vastly superior to this, but it's a good early game area that has a very different tone. Because a lot of the areas thus far are kind of similar. Like, there's only really been two areas in my brain. There's that one castle area that we started out in. Not Undead Settlement. It was, the one before that. Where we fought, Borat. The watchdog. The one dude. I forget what his name is, oh my lord. But the one castle area where, like, there was the Red Eye Knights and whatnot, there's that area, and then we got to the Undead Settlement, which was kind of like trees and, like, ramshackled, like, abodes and whatnot. And, before I get any further deep into that, this guy was a pain. And, like, I know why he's a pain, and that's because, oh, it's a character from Dark Souls 1, sort of. And it's just, like, Miyazaki is just, like, masturbating to the idea of, like, oh, if it's from Dark Souls 1, it has to be, like, blatantly obvious and, like, hard, and, like, the players have to look at it for a long time. Then we get the spider shield, which didn't have anything cool on it. I don't know if I read the description now or if I read it later, but there was no reference to Dark Souls 1 on it at all. It was just like, this shield is good. It has a high poison resistance. My name is Miyazaki, and I'm tired of writing more item descriptions. And I remember me saying during this part that this area is kind of intimidating, but as long as you just, like, kind of shield up and run down here, the dogs will just run to you, and they will make short work, so you don't have to really worry about the archers. Then there's one more dog that I was kind of curious where it was, and then I went up here and was like, oh, it's one of those pillar dogs. It's kind of like Pillarman from JoJo, except less cool and easier to kill. I forgot. Oh, yeah, that's right. I was gonna say, how did they fight the Pillarmen in JoJo? And I was like, they're vampires. Gosh dang it, Mike. How do you fight a vampire? Put it in sunlight. But then I was like, well, I don't know, like, was his name Cars? I think it was Cars, who was the big bad of Battle Tendency. Because, like, yeah, okay, let's think about this. Hold on. Okay. You guys continue to watch me play Dark Souls. I need to look this up. JoJo Battle Tendency. Characters. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time remembering this. Because I remember, really to me, Battle Tendency is probably my favorite of the JoJo seasons so far. Yeah, there we go. Wamu, AC/DC, and Cars. There we go. Oh yeah, how could I forget? Because AC/DC, I think, was the first one to go down. Yeah, AC/DC was the first one, and then Wamu was the second, and then Cars was obviously the last. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Cars was the one that became the ultimate life form at the end of the day. At the end of the day, he was the perfect life form. Yeah, because, oh my lord, they even have a picture of it, where he's just, like, standing in the sunlight, and he gets, like, his weird flowy hair. I never understood the idea behind the ultimate life form. Because you would imagine, like, oh, like, he can become, like, he's probably just, like, super strong and super tough, right? It was like, no. He could sprout bird wings or, like, fish scales, which apparently can stop lava. I think it was fish scales that he, like, did during that part when he was thrown into the volcano. That was a weird part. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventures Battle Tendency. You'll understand. Huh, interesting. So season 4, am I right? Super boring so far. But, oh, I see we're already back to Firelink Shrine. Let me look at the gameplay real quick. So we were talking to this lady who says, we can summon her now. Her sign is just kind of out there. And, we went to the handmaid, and, we can buy some new armor from her. And because we killed, the Abyss Watchers, we can buy their armor now. Which I believe I end up doing later, because their armor is actually pretty radical. The helmet's kind of weird, because it has like that really high turtle button-up thing to the nose. Then Igon, or Egon, he's just kind of there. And I've never talked to him here before. And he's just kind of like, you know, my terms are simple. The girl is safe, and I am your friend, or your compatriot, but no longer. And it's really unfortunate because I have already messed up the quest line for that. Because I didn't actually know that there was a quest line for her. I mean, I should have kind of guessed, obviously, because every character has a quest line. But there's a good and a bad ending. And I feel like the bad ending for a lot of these is more fleshed out than, like, the good endings. And before I talk about that, like, we offered the Cinders of a Lord, and we put their helmets on top of the throne. And I did a little cheeky, like, wide swing, and I was like, 5 lords take 5 thrones. And I trill my R, because that's how that one dude does it. But yeah, the bad endings seem to be fleshed out kind of generally in the Souls series, now that I think about it. The bad ending is always kind of more thought out, which is interesting. Like, even going back to, like, Solier in Dark Souls 1, I forget what Oscar's was in Demon Souls. I think he died no matter what. I think completing his questline got him up to, like, the final area, and then, like, he kind of lost it. But Solier's, and Miyazaki has stated that seeing Solier die, or killing Solier, is the quote-unquote good ending. That's what he said. And I don't buy that, really, because it doesn't feel like the good ending, you know? Like, that feels like the bad ending. And it's like, I'm of two minds about it, you know? Because it's like, sure, you got to see Solier, like, Solier found his son, like, sort of. It's like, oh, that's the good ending because he found his son. He found, he has completed his quest. But, like, I don't know. Because throughout his whole journey, he was just kind of... It's very anticlimactic for such a grandeur adventure and cavalcade that he decided to go on. Where at the end, he's just in a dark tunnel, being mind-controlled by, like, a weird, like, maggot. It's like, that doesn't feel like a good end. And I understand where Miyazaki's coming from, where it's like, no, like, if the player character kills him, then he is freed from the curse, and he does not have to bear being a hollow or undead any longer. And it's like, well, I mean, sort of, I guess. I can understand where, like, the concept of, like, mercy killing comes in. Because, like, sure, like, killing somebody could be considered a blessing in this world. But at the same time, it's like, that means if you fail his questline, if you quote-unquote get the bad ending, that means you can have Solier help you with Gwyn. Because if you kill him with the Sunlight Maggot, his sign is not there for you to help fight Gwyn. And I think having him help you fight Gwyn is the way better of the two endings. I think that's the good ending. Because in your mind, is it better for Solier to be killed kind of obscurely? Or is it better for him to do what he has set out to do, and that is to engage in jolly cooperation with the chosen undead to maybe fight his father? That's not necessarily canon, but, like, for the sake of this, it's like, yeah, that's super true. Oh, then right here, I made a weird cut, because Steam just decided to, like, say, nope, you're in online mode, we don't like that, we're putting you in offline mode. And I actually did that a little bit later, but it booted me back here. And so, we got the Executioner's Greatsword. And that's a very interesting sword because it doesn't feel like a great sword, you know? It has pretty fast swings. That's actually the weapon that Derek used in his playthrough. I believe that's the weapon he upgraded to plus 10 first. And speaking of upgrading weapons to plus 10, they did it right in this game. You can get a lot of slabs in this game. Just, like, I think... I don't necessarily know how many you can get, but you can definitely get at least 4 without having to do, like, weird shenanigans. And I'm not counting trading as shenanigans, because that's built in. Like, I got that, and not knowing what the item was. Yeah, backstab. I really want the Grave Warden, or whatever it's called, to drop his weapon. Or her weapon, maybe? I'm not entirely sure. Because I actually got really lucky and it dropped my first playthrough. And it's a really good weapon. It's actually really awesome. I also want to try out bleed and poison builds, because apparently they're pretty good in this game. If you upgrade your luck. And I really want to do a luck build, but at the same time I really don't, for obvious reasons. Because luck seems really good in the early game to get, like, your good stuff, but then later on, like, obviously, like, you don't need as many drops. So, I don't know. I'm of two minds about that. Cursed Great Shield. That's weird that it was large like that. It must have weird lore significance. And then leading down here, like, you kick the ladder and then you can go back to the original bonfire. That had the 2 shortcuts built into it. But I don't believe I do that just yet. Because I believe I have I need to clear out this area and kill the mama lizard, which is right there. And that's where you can drop down to get to the bonfire kind of quickly. But besides that, there's not really anything super special with this area. Besides these 2 crystal lizards, which I believe they both drop Titanite, or Twinkling Titanite? Twilinite, as I so dearly like to call it. Is it improper? No. Does it sound fun to say? Oh, you bet it does. Twilinite. It's so easy. I don't know why that's not the official term that people use. It's like, no, Twinkling Titanite. Because we are prudes. Because we play our superior game. Oh yeah, and here's like some advanced tactics. So when you first play this game, if you're having trouble with these guys, they're actually not that tough. And I say this a lot, and it's true every time. If you just take your time, their actual hits don't do that much damage. But the biggest thing that new players have with these guys is every hit causes bleed, and persistently, and it can sometimes stack. Like, the bleeding stacks, because with each hit they're adding more leeches to you, I guess is like the idea there. But if you have a torch, just equip it real quick, and it will instantly burn off all the leeches, and all of a sudden these guys kind of become trivial. And it's like they don't really have anything special anymore, which is... I mean, it's cool, because when I first played through this game, they were very intimidating. And now that I know that, it's like, oh, that's cool. It's like a little trick to make this area, like, almost trivial. But still cool. Still cool nonetheless. I don't want to degrade the sanctity of this area too much. Because, like I said, it's kind of a cool area. It's a good toss-up. We haven't really seen the inside of the castle yet. But we will. And boy, my computer just fell asleep. That's not good. Why does it do that? My lord. It's because there's nothing, like, active going on, I realize. But that's okay. So now we're going to fight Mama Lizard 3.0? I believe this is the third one that we have fought in the game. The first one, then the crab area, and then now here. Yes, the crab area already came out. I believe that was part 4. You'd think I would remember. And there we have it. It was a visceral attack. So visceral attacks do make a comeback from Bloodborne. However, they're kind of rare. And they can only be done to, like, large enemies. Which I think is fair. It's if you are able to... Well, because normal enemies, you can kick them if they have their shield up, and you can stagger them, and you can do, like, front stabs to them. But you can't really backstab a large enemy, so that's a good trade-off. If you can stagger a big enemy, you can do a big visceral attack. And I believe the only enemies... I'm sure there are more than what I'm about to say, but the 2 biggest ones are the crystal lizards and the crabs. I know you can do it to the crabs. We see that later. Or maybe we've already seen that. I don't remember. But those 2 enemies you can definitely do it on. I'm sure there's other enemies you can do it to. Like, maybe the guys with the cages on their back, but... they have weird properties. Because, like, sometimes they have infinite poise, sometimes they have infinite stamina. It's like... That's one thing I don't like about Souls games. And that's actually something that a lot of Souls-like games are starting to do now. Where, like, the one that comes to mind is a game called Nioh, Nioh, which is a PS4 exclusive, which is heavily influenced by the Souls series. However, you take... In a sense, it's way more difficult because you take way more damage, and there are way more mechanics going on, which I can't believe there's a game that's like Dark Souls that has more mechanics going on in it. I guess, yeah, I can. The Souls series is... kind of... I don't want to say simplistic, but it's deceptively so. Because when you first start, you're like, oh my god, there's so much going on here. I'm very overwhelmed. But then the more you go, it's like, actually there's not really that much there. It's like block, attack, repeat, occasional parry, maybe some magic. It's like, then you get to like some of the nitty gritty, which is like status ailments, I guess, and like micromanagement of certain buffs that you can do. It's really just getting items that's like the big thing in Dark Souls. Whereas maintaining and utilizing the weapons is fairly straightforward. It's like, oh, do you have enough X to wield X? Then there you go. Whereas in Nioh, it kind of looks like every weapon has like stances and whatnot, and like it's just, I don't know. It's interesting. It kind of makes me wish I had a PS4. I mean, I gave away my PS4, so I'm not going to complain about it. But I will definitely be watching a lot of Nioh. It's so fun to say. Kind of sounds like a meow. Nioh. It sounds like a young Japanese girl is saying it. Nioh. There's an anime that I think of that I can't remember the name of, but it's amazing. Hey, that's a big door. Doesn't open from this side though. Let's go around. Maybe they left the key in the back under a fake rock. Surely, the old gods have probably have done that. No backstabs for me today, unfortunately. Boy, this is exciting. Oh, so that's something new that we haven't discovered in the game. And that's this particular ailment, I guess. And they blew through, I think it's called Hunter's Charm in this game. And that basically makes it to where I can't use Estus. I forget what they were called in other games. I want to say Lloyd's Talisman, but that doesn't sound right. I feel like there's something to do with Lloyd in this game too, which makes me question myself about whether that's true or not. I love how you can interrupt those guys. Oh, then I was really, like, I was getting cheeky, and I was like, what's the lore significance of this, like, railroad spike? And I just got shot out of nowhere. I didn't realize that he would fall down. It's kind of interesting. This area... Sorry. Sorry. Long day at work. This area is actually really interesting in the sense that it's kind of... It's weird. I don't know. I don't want to say we've ever seen an area like this in Souls games. Where it's like, there's rafters, but they're not fully committing to like the BS Dark Souls 1 rafters. Where it's like, if you move in any direction besides forward, you will fall off. In this game, it's kind of more like, we have areas that are kind of actually comfortable to walk across, but still kind of make you hesitant. I don't know, it's very interesting. Oh yeah, then these guys both jump out. I don't know what triggers them. I mean, I got obviously like forward momentum going to a different area. Oh yeah, I remember this part. Because I was like, man, it sucks that we haven't like gotten a drop from these guys yet. Because like I really wanted to like read more about them. And then almost as if like by divine dumb stupid luck, it happens like in a couple minutes. And I was like, yeah, like it was really funny because I was like, man, I really wish we got like a thrall axe or like their hat or something. And then like almost immediately I got their hat. And then later I get their axe. And my axe! Man, don't you love... I was gonna say Star Wars. I know it's from Lord of the Rings, but I couldn't think of any other, like, medieval time. I almost die here. I know that's kind of a spoiler, but it's like, I did not think this area would be this tough. Just like, getting those delicious, juicy iframes. And I can't believe I actually get out of here now that I actually see how low my health was. But that's why we always have the blue tier stone ring equipped. Because in situations like that, it saved me. Yeah. That's how we do it. And like, the item here is like, yeah, red bug pellet. I don't even know what that does. And I'm not... You know what? For lulz, let's go to the Dark Souls wiki. Nope, not Dark Dreams Don't Die. Dark Souls 3 wiki. Red bug pellet. Dark Souls 3 wiki. Oh, there's a bunch of colors. 15% boost in fire damage absorption for 60 seconds. Okay, so I guess this is the only one that would actually be kind of useful. Because, like... Wait, so what do the other ones do then? Oh, whoops. So, wait. It didn't give me any results when I typed that in. Fine. Let's delete red. We have blue bug pellet, magic, okay. But yellow, what's yellow? There's yellow and black. Yellow... Oh, lightning, duh. And I guess black would be dark, yes. That is true. That's also true. Interesting. Oh, Cathedral of the Deep. This is meta. I could be looking at, like, the actual walkthrough while I do this. Aw, that's upsetting. So later on, we get invaded by a familiar face from Dark Souls 1. And I could have gotten his sword and shield if I would have beat him. But I didn't, and I won't. I was really salty last night. I was a real salty John. But that's fine. We don't really need those items. I really want to get his armor if I can, but I don't know where to get that from. And I don't necessarily want to look it up just for this walkthrough. Whoa! Trion's playing Fallout 4. F4SE. What does that mean? F4SE. But yeah, we got the Thrall Hood. It's used to humiliate criminals. And now it's used to humiliate me. Ahaha! goodness. He was lying in wait. That guy was a trooper. No, this guy was. That's amazing. And then I get a second one. And I was like, I can dual wield. I can dual wield the hats. Just kind of like hold them by the tassels in my hand and just kind of flail them around and hope like they blind the enemy. Or at least confuse them to where I can switch to a better weapon. But no, those two guys that were in that room, the first one that jumped down with the flamberge, he was like, oh my god, like, all my friends are being killed out there. If I just wait a little longer, I can get the drop on him. And then the other guy, and so then he dropped down and he got owned. Then the other guy that was also on the ceiling was like, I've heard all my friends get murdered. I saw him get murdered. Now's my chance. They didn't have a chance, but surely I will be the next Lord of Cinder. I don't know. Well, that's... I wonder, if you kill the Chosen Undead... Now see, one thing I do like about... Because I started to think about this. Does that, like, mean, like, oh, they're stronger than the Chosen Undead, there should be the next Lord of Cinder. But it's like, no. The one thing I do like about Dark Souls 2 is... At the end, it basically straight up tells you, like, oh, this was all a test by King Vendrick to see if you were actually worthy of becoming the next, like, heir to the throne. That was really cool. That was a really good, like, subplot that they had going. It's like, they just didn't execute a bunch of stuff that well. I did very poorly against this guy. I didn't die, but... Yeah, and we got the Grave Rurden robes, which I have never gotten before, and they're very holy, very tasseled. It's not fun. They doesn't look great. They're disposing of the ever-rising corpses. Yeah. So these guys just basically took care of, like, the dead bodies. Because what do? Because that's the thing. That's, like, the big thing in Dark Souls. That's why, like, a lot of Chosen Undeads, like, start in prison. Or, like, in an area like that. Like, in a coffin. Or whatnot. Because it's like, oh, what do you do if... In a world where people don't die and just become undead, what do you do with them? Just kind of toss them... Like, in Dark Souls 2... In Dark Souls 1, it was, oh, put them in the asylum. And it's like, oh, then, like, the sickness started to spread. And it's like, then they became all over. So the asylum didn't work. In Dark Souls 2, it was a mixture of a few things. Well, one, the Chosen Undead kind of fell through, like, a wormhole portal, I guess, onto dry land. That made zero sense, that opening cutscene. But in Dark Souls 2, the solution was, hey, throw them in this big hole. And then eventually, like, those things became, Trubbish, the dude that was down there. The Rotten, that's what it is. The Nito wannabe. And it's like, they all, like, morphed together. Trubbish, the Rotten Lord, is the most confusing boss in Dark Souls 2. Because there's so many lore things that people speculate about him that it's actually kind of confusing, even by Dark Souls standards. Because one thing was like, oh no, like, part of Nito's soul broke off and then became part of the Rotten. But it's like, that same soul also broke apart and became Nasandra? It's like, that was weird. And then it also turned into, like, no, that's, oh god, I forget what that one guy was. I'm gonna look it up, because I have time. Dark Souls 2, wiki, I guess. It's that one dude that laid all those, like, devices around. And I can't believe I can't remember his name. I don't even know what the item's called. So let us... Items. We're gonna take the long way around this. I'll know it when I see it. But it's like, if you look at the Rotten, you'll see that, like, he has another dude kind of on his shoulder, and they both do the same actions. Pharos. And, like, a lot of people are like, oh, if you kill the thing on its shoulder, it drops a Pharos lockstone. And if Pharos may have been thrown down the pit when he died, and maybe he's the one that's controlling the Rotten. It's like, that makes absolutely zero sense, and I believe that. But then, I don't know. Pharos is the coolest person in Dark Souls 2 that we never learn anything about. It's kind of unfortunate. Because, like, the doors of Pharos, that area, it's like, that is full of this thing. It's like, did he just go crazy? Like, was that the reason? Because it's like, is that the reason he didn't go hollow? Let's just say he didn't go hollow. It's like, because he knew, like, his mission was to make as many of these things as he could, and then he just made one area all of them. I don't know, that's an interesting thing to think about. Who was Pharos? What did he do? Will he be in the Dark Souls 3 DLC? Yes, all that and more. Lord, I actually can't wait for the Dark Souls 3 DLC, because I was thinking about what they could add. And one thing I hope they add, and I know a lot of people are really hoping for it, and I really hope Miyazaki takes the hint, I just want one mimic bonfire. Like, if you look online, there's a bunch of really cool, like, concept art. A bonfire mimic. Like, yeah, like, all these... Holy cow, there's a ladder mimic? That's actually really awesome. Holy cow. The ladder mimic's kind of cool. It'd be kind of weird. Oh my god. Capra Demon Wheel? That's the most overpowered boss in the game. Right there. Holy cow, who is this guy? He's made a lot of... Hexer Goblin Basilisk Stalker Rider. God. Wait, what's this? Corpse Mimic? Oh, wow. That's a weird one that we'd never ever see in a Souls. That doesn't look like it would fit Souls game. But the Bonfire Mimic would be pretty cool, because its design is relatively simple, like how this guy has done it. Number 1 Pinwheel Dad. Oh god. It's just the big dad build, but with all the other, like, cloak stuff of, like, the mother and the son. Exploding Havel. Poison Ironclad. That's a really cool idea, actually. How come they did not do that? So it's the Ironclad, like the Turtle Knights, but it has, like, those stone things that spit the acid at you. That's really cool. Iron Warrior Idol. Okay, I'm linking it. Look in the description, guys. Just so you can go to deviantart.com and look at the concept art that this guy has made. Is this the same dude? Ooh, wait a minute. Has he also made naughty things? Am I exploring Rule 34 live? Barrel Mimic. Wait. Okay, keep going. Ooh, I think it's raining outside. Oh wait, no, that's just for... Interesting. Okay, yeah. Okay, it is. So let's go to his main thing. Okay, yeah. So I'm cutting this, and I'm going to put in the description down below because you guys need to see the concept art that this guy has had for some of like new enemies. A lot of the mimic ones are kind of cool. Especially look at the bonfire mimic, which I think is the most reasonable one you could do. I can kind of see it like burying itself like underneath some dirt. Then the attack, it'll like scurry up out of the ground like flounders, and like it's out of the ground and it just kind of does its thing. And then also the ladder mimic. The ladder mimic is actually a really cool idea that we won't see in the DLC, but like maybe in a different game, in a different life, we might see a ladder mimic, because that's actually really cool. I could see like you're a quarter of the way up and it starts like wiggle and it wraps around your guy and zips him up into the mouth up at the top. You guys need to look at this. Again, it's in the description, but I believe I've said that enough. You guys get the hint. Oh boy, and I came back to the video just in time. You can see I'm stalling for time, I'm not going forward. So, here's the thing, and I can't believe I'm saying this to the internet. I pray that I never become famous. Because then people will go back to this episode and be like, oh, Mike has arachnophobia, eh? Let's just send him, like, plushies of, like, horrible spider monsters. And just like, I'm so scared. Even now, like, having to watch this, I'm great at fighting these guys with my eyes half closed. Yeah, it was like, let's go this way. I was like, nope, I have to be a big strong man about this. I need to show, Londor that I am the biggest and the strongest that there ever will be. Because I'm big and tough and don't afraid of nothing. But just like, look at that. And it's like, and Derek's seen this guy also. It's like, looking at him now, it's fine. Because like, wait, no it's not. I don't like that. Oh god, no, that's not good. It's... there's just something about him, and I know he doesn't look like a spider, but he moves like one. It's like, that's gross. That's not fun at all. But he drops a pretty good ring. Aldrich's Sapphire. You gain FP through backstabs and visceral attacks, essentially. But I don't really use enough... I don't emphasize my playstyle on FP enough to where that would ever be a good ring for me. Maybe, like... But even on a... Here's the reason that ring is garbage, right? Even if you're like a mage type, you have to be like a battle mage in order for that to be good. Because you can't... It's just like, because in order to get like backstabs or viscerals or whatnot, you have to be in there. And if you're a mage... you can't really be in there, even though they do have like a lot of offensive like type attacks now. Just, I wish magic was viable. And I understand why they can't make it viable. It's because the majority of Dark Souls players... It's a self-fulfilling prophecy, really. Because like, they didn't make magic good because it's tuned for melee. And it's tuned for melee because more people use melee than they do magic. But more people use melee than they do magic because magic was bad. And so, it's just they need to make magic a little bit better. But they can't, you see, because it's not tuned for it. It's just like, it's a pick two situation, and any two you pick, you're wrong. And this is the horrible truth that they had with this game. It's really unfortunate, actually. It's like they can't win, they can't do nothing about it, and yes, I died. Yes, I know. I edited it out. I'm not gonna fight him again. That's the part I was talking about earlier, when I was like, oh, I could have gotten his sword and shield, but I don't really want that. I really want his armor. Like, that's the main thing. And of course you also want like the weapon and the shield in order to fully cosplay as the Thorn Knight, or whatever he's called in this game. He's the Thorn Knight. He's super horny, you guys. That joke has never been made before. Alright. But yeah. We're starting to get close to the end here. Can't believe I've been talking about nothing for 50 minutes. That's pretty good. It's not bad, not bad. Not bad at all. I still need to find my Fashion Souls look. This is really what the playthrough's about. It's just finding... This is really a guide to Fashion Souls. Not sure if you guys realize. I put a big emphasis on trying to... Because I'm pretty much going to be using the same weapon... Hey, there's Diego! Yay, Diego! Go, Diego, go! He's like the only non-hostile enemy type. But kill him anyways, because he drops a ring. It's the deep ring, I believe. And I was right. It adds additional attunement slots. Yay! It's great for me, I guess. What was I saying? I forget. I was distracted by Diego's charm. I wish I could go back and listen to the audio without horribly destroying the current audio clip that I have now. That's fine. If it was important, it would come back to me. Yeah, kick this guy off the roof. Yeah, there we go. Boy, my whole train of thought has been totally dismantled. I can't even remotely think what I was talking about. And I think it was important, sort of. Huh. I don't know. That's gonna drive me crazy. Oh yeah, Fashion Souls. No, it was important. How could I forget about Fashion Souls? I don't know. Fashion Souls is strong. Fashion-born. Oh, Fashion-born's so strong. It's too bad that there weren't that many, like, armors. There was a decent number of armors, but they all look too similar in Bloodborne. Because Fashion-born is so good, but Fashion Souls will do. Dark Garb. Nope, doesn't have the same ring. It has to be Fashion Souls now. But this is really a playthrough to find your perfect Fashion-born Souls. And in my original playthrough, I found my Fashion Souls, and it's like, I'm all white, and like I have like that blindfold, like headband thing. It's like, I don't know, I look so cool, because that's when I have the Spyhander and I did Pyromancy. And I was kind of like a strength caster. And it's like, I don't know, the white just really exemplified that. It was really nice looking. But I make a big deal because I'm using the same weapon, and I know that's kind of boring to some people. Like, believe me, if I really want to use other weapons, and that's why I kind of used a lot of weapons in the beginning, just because like the areas were so low level enough that I could use an unupgraded weapon and it would still be fine. But now that we're getting to kind of like the later game, and like when the bare minimum is like, I don't know, like +4, it's like I can't really do that. I could, but that would take a lot of time off screen that I don't necessarily want to put in. And I cut there because I was knocked off. And so we come back here, you drop down. And this was interesting. I looked up and I saw this. And I was like, I don't look at it. I think I'm about to look at it. I get out my binoculars, but I was like, is that a naked man? And at first I thought it was it looked like a Big Dad mask. But I mean, it's really not, but I was just looking at it and I was like, what's going on there? It looks like a man lying on his back. But like excuse my language, his penis looks very like Like, very Ippo-esque. Where it's like, it looks like it'll make elephant noises. That's all I'm saying. It's like, I just want to, like, zoom in on that engraving. I just wanted to say Takamura was here. That was a weird episode. If you don't know what I'm talking about, surprise, it's another anime. And the best anime, my first anime, which is really strong. It was Hajime no Ippo. The fighting! That's a really strong anime to get started on. Because it's literally like, if you're not as good as Ippo, like, get out. And a lot of animes aren't as good as Ippo. JoJo's is good. JoJo's really good. And so is My Love Story. The two most different animes in the world. It's like, hey, yeah, if you could peg me, like, I'm just the kind of guy that, like, likes to watch JoJo and My Love Story, you know? Lord, this is getting more off the rails than I really intended it to be. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not really. You're really peering deep into the psyche of a mic. As I'm fighting these icky pooies, I'm just talking about the animes I love. Then there's another anime I think I really like, but I can't remember the name of it, so I guess I don't like it that much. And, this guy drops the red, soapstone, which is what you can use to, have people willingly be invaded. And this is the most important covenant in the game. Definitely one that we're going to visit later, because this is how you reallocate your skill points, and if you want, change your appearance, I guess? That's a really weird thing that they added. I guess it's kind of cool, because, like, I'm all for more options, but it's like, unless, oh wait, Mother of Rebirth. I wonder if you can change your sex. Because if you can change your sex, that would kind of be worth it. Sort of. Because later on, I don't know, I think that would be kind of a funny episode. It's like, Mike gets a sex change. That sounds like a Always Sunny episode. It's like, on today's episode, the gang gets a sex change. It's just, all of them. Wait, is Danny DeVito on that show? No. No, who am I thinking of? Who's the really gross-looking hairy guy? Who's the guy that looks like the Penguin? Is it Danny DeVito? I don't think it is. I 100%, like, I really doubt that. Always, yes, I'm looking it up. Always Sunny in Philadelphia cast. Oh my god, it is Danny DeVito! Wow! He looks scary. Oh no, he has white hair now? Oh, that's really sad. He's 4'10". Ooh, his spouse, Ray Perlman, who was born in 1982. Is he still alive? Oh my lord, that's awesome. Good for him. Oh no, in this, okay, yeah. That's fine. In this picture, he looks really happy. He looks like a happy old man. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, I like that. Yeah, okay, yeah, so I was right. That's why he did look like... Wait, he did voiceover in Space Jam? I know he's in Hercules. Because he played, the Pan. I can't believe I can't remember that guy's name. Who did he play in the Space Jam? No, really. Okay, let's go to IMDb. IMDb. I'm actually really curious. Okay, where am I at in the episode? Okay, right now I'm just kind of doing some cleanup work. I think I'm still before the boss, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay, so for this playthrough, I'm not going to be fighting these giants. There's literally no point, and I was very, very disappointed. Do you want to know what they drop? They drop dung pies. That's it. Why, even? Like, I don't know. It was very, very upsetting. That's right, he was in the Lorax. Come on. Oh no, I forgot what movie I was looking for. Man on the Run. Hercules. Phil. Space Jam. Swaxhammer? Was that one? Swaxhammer. Wait, who's Swaxhammer? Or Swackhammer? Oh, he was the manager for the Monstars. Okay. I could see that. Oh no. Oh no. Oh wait, no, that's fine. I thought I accidentally stumbled across, like, Rule 63, Rule 34, Swackhammer. And I was like, that's too specific. It's like, no, I'm a fan of Rule 34, and I'll say that loud and proud, because sometimes it takes a true hero to make a toaster really sexy. It's like, but I don't know, Swackhammer? I don't know. That's just kind of gross. Did I accidentally cut out the boss fight? I feel like I might have accidentally cut it out the boss fight. Or maybe I just didn't pay attention and just totally missed it. That's probably what happened. Or wait, no, I'm heading towards the boss room. Okay, cool. I tuned in just in time to my own channel in order to see me fight the boss again. I hope you guys can understand. This series, more than anything else, it's just the ramblings of a madman. Like, with episodes like these, with episodes as long as these, oh, I pray that you're not just sitting down to watch this. Like, this is something that you should have, like, going on, like, maybe as you're doing homework or doing the dishes. But, like, not when you're... Not, like, if you have nothing to do and you want to watch something. Oh, and hey, you can summon Henri and Horace here. I didn't know that, because I've never done their questline before. Oh, interesting, to say the least, I guess. But oh well. That's something you can certainly do. Oh, God. Oh, no. So there... What in the world is that? Browsing fan art on DeviantArt. Are those Digimon? Yeah, they are. Holy cow, that's a buff Digimon. Ooh. Wait, what's that? I should not be doing this while recording. Oh wow, this guy is really cool. DeviantArt is such an awesome site. Man, I wish I was good at drawing. Or anything artistic, really. I wish I was good at making videos. That's the true test. Okay, anyway. So we're currently fighting Deacons of the Deep, which many people have voted. There's like a video online that's like the top 19 worst Dark Souls 3 bosses. And this was voted, I think, #1 worst. Which, I don't know, I can see why people don't like it, but I think there's worse bosses out there than this. This is a pretty... It's okay because I understand the gimmick. I mean, I understand every boss's gimmick, but it's just like, this is fine because it's just it's a horde boss. It's like, I think one horde boss per Dark Souls game is okay. I don't remember if there was a horde boss in Dark Souls 1. Because off the top of my head, I don't think there was. The closest thing we kind of got to a horde boss was, I guess the Four Kings, technically, because you could fight more than 4. But it's not like a horde boss. I fought 2 enemies at once in Dark Souls 1. Nothing like this. Dark Souls 2 really, had a lot of horde bosses, now that I think about it. One was the dumb rat boss, the Royal Rat Authority. I think that was it, or something along the lines of that. And the Gargoyle one in Dark Souls 2 is more of a horde mode than it was in the first one. Yay, and Henri and Horus did it. Wait, maybe they didn't. I think that was me. We got the small doll and the souls of the Deacon of the Jeep. And so in a weird way, this area isn't optional. Because you need the doll in order to go progress. It's just a side area, essentially. This really feels like an... No, it doesn't, now that I think about it. It's not optional, because it's kind of easy. Oh, wow. I guess snap cut to Firelink. I didn't mean to make that a snap cut. It should be a slow fade, but oh well. Too late now, because I'm talking about it. But now if we go back to Firelink, we can talk to Henri and Horus, and they can be like, yo, that was real. That was real hard. And it's like, wait, there's an empty coffin. The little doll told me. I got to go to Ithriel of the Boreal Valley, an ancient fabled city. But of course you guys can all hear this, so why am I reading it? And so, their adventure takes them towards Ithriel. And unfortunately, well, I guess I'll talk about it in just a second. I'll talk about it now, actually, because the next part's unimportant. I think I accidentally messed up their questline. Because later on, and kind of spoilers, sort of, not really,
I'm Leonard, the Ringfinger.
ooh, what's his name?
Remember me?
Yorm?
I slipped you those red eyes.
Wait, is Yorm the giant?
You're making quite
Yol.
a effort of it, so
I think his name is Yol. Yol of Londor? My little hermit dude? Like, he died before I got to my 5th upgrade point, and so the other lady never showed up, and you need her to get that ending that I was trying to go for, which involved Henri and Horus. So unfortunately, I think that's a no-go, but I will try and get a different ending to them. Either the A or B.
If you fancy it,
Let's see, his dialogue's gone. And now we have, Irina. And this is messed up, what I'm doing right now. She's like, but I can't. These miracles, if you'll even call them that, are... They delve deep within men that I can't even fathom.
If you insist.
Only the places in men that are dark, where these truly writhe. And then they're like, and it's like, if you want, I can still read it, but oh my god, this is terrifying. And then, like, it's like, oh, the creatures that nibble at me. And so we learn Deep Protection and the Gnaw, which is what the fat lady uses.
Have a pleasant journey, I pray.
And there's one more left. Oh yeah, I wanted to include these because we didn't read them. The Blood of the Wolf. Soul of the Blood of the Wolf, one of the twisted souls steeped in strength. The blood was spread amongst the Abyss Watchers, and their souls are one with the soul of the Wolf Blood Warrior, or Master, which I think is just Artorias. After Aldrich left for the Boreal Valley, Archdeacon Royce remained in the cathedral with the high priests to keep eternal watch over their master's coffin. We're gonna fight Aldrich later, and the boss we just fought, the main dude was Royce, the guy in the middle that was surrounded by the dudes. Then Curse Ride Greatwood. I think we already read that, so I don't know why I included that. But yeah, that's gonna be it, guys. See ya in the next episode!